Hello, how are you? It's me, Although ASMR Classic again. I hope you're well, and sorry I've not been able to upload much recently. But as I mentioned on my last video, I was at the Edinburgh Festival, Edinburgh Fringe in Edinburgh in Scotland, for all of August, the world's greatest open arts festival. And then in September I was in beautiful Wales, one of the countries of England, of Great Britain I should say, I knew I'd get that wrong, the United Kingdom, that's right. Wales is a beautiful place, and I tend to go there to write basically because of being very poor, and there's a friend of ours who has a cottage there in a little village in West Wales just by the coast, and they allow us to go. When I first started writing and was very poor, they used to say, don't worry, you can go for nothing, which was really kind of them. And so we tend to go there for a couple of weeks, twice a year, and we do pay them something now, but it's still a lovely place to go. And as a child I used to spend a lot of time in Wales, because it's a beautiful country. And talking of writing, I just came across this. I quite like stationery, I think. It's taken me a while to realise. And there's just a little book that's in my, you can see, sorry about the messy writing desk. Little book that I've just found, and I haven't opened it for a long time, and I thought I might do with you now. I'd just like to say as well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to 1,000 followers, so that this will become monetised. I think. I should know, shouldn't I? But I don't. But I think it'll become monetised. And if that is the case, then I want to use any finance from this to subsidise new writing. I've got a kind of a young adult thing. If we can get to 1,000 followers, and it gets monetised, I shall start reading for you this story. It's about a young boy who has to save the world. Yeah. I actually wrote it originally a long time ago, but I'll tell you more about that later. But I thought I'd just share this with you briefly, because I haven't opened this since, I think it was 2004, that's 20 years. And a few ideas for a TV show, which ran in the UK. Jobs for characters to have. And then a couple of scenarios I was going to write up. And then another idea for a sitcom for BBC Talent. Now, I have to say these are all ideas. And not many of them came off. But you can also see I've got quite a lot of blank space. So I think I might go back to this notebook again. Made in India. And I think it's got a leather case. But I'll try to cut down on my footprint, but it's quite good. There we have that. And the other thing I thought I might share with you today. Okay. I think I had an ink pen that leaked. Yeah. I thought I might share this with you. It's our old favourite, the Penguin Classics versions of William Shakespeare's kind of highlights. And of course, unless you've been living under a rock, there's been an American election is about to happen in a few days as I record this. We had an election in the UK where the Labour Party had a massive win over the Conservative Party. And I thought this might be appropriate because Shakespeare got there first. A couple of readings I thought I'd share, and hopefully it'll be relaxing, even though the subject matter's not particularly relaxing, is it? But this is from Julius Caesar. So, I don't know if you know the story of Julius Caesar, but it's about Brutus, his sort of best friend. The famous line, "Et tu, Brutus? You too, Brutus." Julius Caesar. And Brutus says that Caesar has to die because alive he is a threat to freedom, whatever his personal qualities may be. And this is how Brutus justifies it to his followers. I don't know this, but we'll have a crack together. It must be by his death, and for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him. But for the general, he would be crowned. How might that change his nature? There's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder that craves wary walking. Crown him. That. And then I grant we put a sting in him that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is where it disjoins remorse from power. And to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affection swayed more than his reason. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend, so Caesar may. Then, lest he may prevent, and since the quarrel will bear no colour for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is augmented would run to these new and these extremities, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would, as his kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell. Pretty dramatic stuff. So, Cassius's whisperings, says Brutus, have set off a civil war in his very nature. As he says, Brutus says, since Cassius first did whet me against Caesar, I have not slept between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion. All the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the moral instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers them the nature of an insurrection. If our cause is so just, says an uneasy Brutus, why such need for secrecy? He has an answer for that as well. Oh, conspiracy, shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night, where evils are most free? Oh, then by day, where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mar thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy, hide it in smiles and affability, for if thou path thy native semblance on, nor Erebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention. So they do the deed. Caesar is killed. And then Mark Antony has, as it says here, conciliatory words with Caesar's killers. Tells them, okay, you've probably done it for all the right reason. You are honourable men. But he kind of knows what he's going to be doing next. Oh, yes, he does. He uses a very different language once the conspirators, once the killers have left. He talks over the body of his murdered friend, Caesar. Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war, all pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit ranging for revenge. With 8 by his side comes hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dog dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth with carrion men, groaning for burial. Ooh. That's not too relaxing, is it really? But some great speeches, and I thought I might, use this as a whispered reading. You kind of got the idea, didn't you? So, yeah, I thought I'd do that because of all the general elections that have been happening, politics that have been happening around the world. Shakespeare arguably got there first. And, looking at the time, I'd better stop here. But thank you so much if you stayed with me. I hope you've kind of enjoyed it, even if it's not been too relaxing. I'm always minded that Shakespeare wrote that hundreds of years ago. And still, the way certain men mainly act hasn't changed a whole lot, has it? There's a play that I wrote, and the last line was, "Leave us now, but look at the world," and leave us now, but look at the, I can't remember, it's one of my lines, but it does end up with the line, "How little mankind has learned, and how much we still have to lose." So on that note, if there's anything you would like me to read, or if there's a particular book, or we've got our Charles Dickens Christmas stories, which we might go back to again, which I started last year, please let me know. And please press the button down here, or whatever it is, the subscribe thing. Yeah. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. To quote Dickens, "Bless us all, everyone,